Hello everyone. This video is being prompted by a question by Marie Benavides from the 1140 class who thought that I had sent her a URL and I talked about that it had links and she didn't think it had any links. And so she asked me a question about it, and I think the easiest way for me to answer Marie is to show her what I was talking about. Okay, let's go up here to the black banner. This is the title page from the San Francisco Symphony. This is not their homepage. This is the homepage for Keeping Score, which was created by Michael Tilson Thomas with the San Francisco Symphony. Michael Tilson Thomas happens to be the conductor. He's a very famous man who is the conductor of the San Francisco Symphony. So I told you that there were, well, let's go down. Let's keep going down. Just below the black banner, it says that this page is about Hector Berlioz' Symphonie Fantastique. And it's called Fantastique because it is a fantasy and it is also fantastic. It tells us that this music was fueled by desire. It was fueled by sickness. It was fueled by addiction. It was fueled by stalking. The man would have been put in jail if it was today. The subject of this music is the subject of this musical drama. It's a symphony, but it also tells a story. This is called program music. If there's a story, the music is called program music. If there's no story, if it's just the other, no story at all, then it's called absolute music. But most music for the Romantic era is program music. So the subject of this musical drama was none other than my love, his addiction for Miss Smithson, and the anguish and bad dreams that it brought me. Actually, he decided to kill himself, and so he took an overdose of heroin. It was called opium back then, and he didn't die. Instead, he had all of these hallucinations, and it all led to this symphony. But it's the story of his real addiction to this lady. So I will expect you, first of all, to read the body right here in the middle of what this is talking about, describing this symphony. Notice that there are many, many links. Let's count them. One, this is where you will listen. This will be the end. This will be like your live concert when you go to listen to the live, to the performance of the Symphonie Fantastique, 5 movements. Here's an introductory video by Michael Tilson Thomas. Over here on the right, where it says the score, the orchestration, the memories, the program, the impressions, and the epilogue. Every single one of these is several pages. These are links. But let's begin by watching the introductory video. Now I'm going to click on this and you're going to see it small. And the reason I'm not going to expand it is because I have a large screen. But right here, let me show you what this would do. It's going to go out of the picture for you because, no, I'm not going to do that because it might mess me up. But you know, if you click right here, this picture will fill up your entire computer screen. I can't do it because I have a very large computer screen. It'll go out of the view for you. So anyway, let's watch this video and listen to Mr. Thomas.
The first big piece in which Berlioz confessed his unique artistic vision was Symphonie Fantastique. He wrote it when he was 26 years old, and it was an epic for a huge orchestra. Long before its premiere, he began to circulate a so-called program, which explained what the symphony was about. It was about the life of an artist, his passions, particularly his self-destructive passion for a beautiful woman who has no idea he even exists. So unhappy is this artist that he eventually decides to kill himself by taking a lethal dose of opium. The symphony describes his last dreams, hallucinations, ecstasies, and despairs.
Wow, if that's not a teaser, I don't know what would be. So back to the page. We're going to save listen to after you have done all your studying and your pre-listening and your research. And incidentally, this page is very, very rich. This URL right here is going to take you to many, many other pages. Like, well, right here, the 5 movements, at least 30 right there. different pages. But I'm wasting time here. Let's take a look at the score. This, of course, is the printed music. Oh, with comments. Harriet, the EDA Feeks. The EDA Feeks is the name of this melody. You know, in the Beethoven Symphony Number 5, we had ta-ta-ta-tam, which is a motive. In this one, we have an entire melody, and it's fixation. It's his fixation on this woman. And this beautiful, beautiful melody is going to start out very romantic because it's all his fantasies and dreams about fulfillment with this beautiful stage actress that, you know, he never met her. He just saw her in a play. Well, he did eventually. Well, I'm not going to go there. But he was very much in love with her. So the music, the melody at the first is very, very beautiful. But as he finds out that she doesn't know who he is, she doesn't want to know who he is, she doesn't want to deal with him, she wants him out of her life, blah, blah, blah. So the melody is going to change. And we recognize the changes in his mental state and in the progress of this non-romance by how the music tells the story. So in the very first movement, Reveries is the first movement of the symphony. The Ide Fix is going to be a long, breathless, beautiful woman in melody. Then, as life goes on, she is disinterested. She doesn't want to know anything about him. So to get over it, he decides to go to a party or a ball. And this ball, it's a wonderful waltz. You can almost see the swirling, huge ballroom dance-upping gowns that the ladies wear with their fans and all their tiaras and all. It's a wonderful party, and he goes there to try to forget about his frustration that this woman is uninterested in him, and he's passionately in love. He's been stalking her, and he's fixated on her. And then right in the middle of this party, zap, here comes her melody. So even at a party, he can't get rid of her. So then the next thing he tries is to go on a picnic. He goes out into the country. And this is a scene in the fields. And this is where things start to turn very, very dark. I'll let you find out on your own about this. And the next one is even more dramatic. By this time, he dreams that he has killed his beloved. He murdered her. And so now he's in a dungeon down below the square in Paris, and the music actually goes down the stairs. You hear the drums and the bugles as they're coming to get him. He's going to be executed. And they go down the stairs, down into the dungeon to get him. And the music goes down, dum, 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 ba, 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 dum. It goes down 11 times. And then they bring him up, and they march him across the field, this great big parade ground, and the people are cheering and throwing rotten tomatoes and cabbages and stuff at him and jeering at him. And they want to see him killed. And so they lead him to the scaffold, which is, a scaffold is a platform. On top of the scaffold is this instrument of torture called the guillotine. It's this great big frame with a big, heavy, sharp blade at the top. When they release that, it weighs hundreds of pounds. It comes swishing down, and it cuts off the head of the person who has been shackled down at the bottom. And in the music you hear his head go bloop, bloop, falling to the basket. So he is executed at the scaffold. But there's this wonderful, wonderful march to the scaffold. So be sure to listen, because there's a lot of drama within the music. They're going down the stairs, they're coming to get him, the march itself, all of that stuff. And then the wild celebration of the crowd after he is decapitated. Well, then finally, the final scene is at the cemetery, and this is the wildest dream of all, in which the trumpet sounds, and then now you're going to hear her, the Ide Fix, her beautiful melody sounds really horrible. It sounds like Halloween music. It's awful. And the ghosts and goblins and skeletons get up, and then she comes in, and now she's just this scary, ugly old witch of a woman, and all the ghosts and goblins, they jump her and they have an orgy, and it's a horrible scene. And that's the final scene. Okay, Now that was the score. Now all of these, the orchestration, episode, memories, impressions, and epilogue, all of them will have at least these many pages, one for each movement. Here it is about the Idée Fixe. Here's the orchestra. It'll tell you, and you can listen to all this kind of stuff. Here's the first movement, Reveries. Here's the second movement, Ball, or Harriet 3. Harriet 4 is in the fields, the scaffold. And notice, now we have more videos right here. You can play and listen to what he has to say about the ball right here. And let's go on to episode, the program. This will tell the story of all of this, what's happening in his head and in his defeated love and memories, etc., etc. Well, I'll let you go through the rest of it on your own. But Marie, this has many, many links and a lot of information, a lot of pre-listening. And when you go back to the beginning, then of course you're going to listen to the entire list. Now here's the second movement. See, in every one of these you can listen to the entire movement, but eventually, and down here you click next to go to the next page, of course. And you can hear the next movement as well. But eventually you're going to listen to the entire symphony, and that will be like your live concert. So you have pre-listening, and I hope you don't limit your pre-listening only to this page, because you can go to YouTube and 100 other places to listen to this symphony. It's very, very famous. And you can do more research in many other places about Hector Berlioz and about this symphony in many other places besides this one. This just happens to be the richest page I know of. But there are home pages for Hector Berlioz. There are home pages for the Symphonie Fantastique. Well, this is kind of like a home page for the symphony as well. But it's not the only one. There's a lot of information on the Symphonie Fantastique. So in answer to Marie's question, this is how you navigate the pages at Keeping Score. Now there's, I think, 7 other composers and symphonic works that you can listen to, including Beethoven and Tchaikovsky. And it's a wonderful Shostakovich. It's incredible. So Keeping Score is a wonderful, wonderful experience for you. And I'm allowing this in place of the live concert because during summer session there's a dearth. It's hard to find any concerts. Well, this has gotten too long, but I hope this does explain it all to you. Thank you very much. Good luck.